Howdy, y'all. I'm Komaso, and I came from the big old country, and I'm settling down here in the city, and my brother's going crazy.
Komajiro, what's a homosexual?
No more grumbling, stop your cries.
It's the Yo-Kast. We're back with episode 1 for real this time. I'm Alex, or at Jeebmata on Twitter. I draw occasionally, and I run the Jabanyons Intersection Discord, along with the Yo-Kast. Here are our guests.
Hi everybody, I'm KJ. You might know me as Squishy Blooper on Twitter, or you might also know me as the insane Jinpei fan, and just the person who loves Y Academy in general. I do art sometimes and other things, but mainly talk about that. Anyways, on to you, Ruby.
Hey, I'm Ruby. You might know me as Joel Forrest on Twitter. I have that one purple persona, and I draw sometimes, but not very much. And I recently joined Spectre Subs as the proofreader and stuff. I think that's fun.
Yay.
So on to you, Yukai.
I'm Yukai. I'm also known as Genso or Kokoro Genso on various websites. I draw furries. That's all you need to know about me.
Awesome.
Hello, I am Galaxy Artist, aka Mystic Stars on Twitter. I draw a lot of Yokai Watch arts, and I am also the one that did the Megalution for Yokais and the Spirit Guardians.
So, our main topic for today, just as a introduction, is original Yokai Watch. Mainly the games, but I guess we can dive into the anime and, God forbid, the manga if everyone's up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright, so it all started back in the ancient year of 2012 when a very ambitious man at level 5 decided he wanted to be rich. So that took form in a monster collecting game for the PlayStation. But then some shit happened, and then it was 3DS, a Nintendo exclusive, for like most of its lifespan. So that's where we are. 2013, Yokai Watch for the Nintendo 3DS comes out, spearheading the brand new franchise, which very quickly, by 2014, becomes massive in Japan, and by 2015 would be localized for everyone else, which would be what's relevant to people in this call. What do you guys think about Yokai Watch? The first one. Specifically,
I think
The first game.
people say that the first Yokai Watch isn't that good, but I think on its own, like disregarding all the other games, I think it's pretty solid. It's nice. I like it.
Yokai Watch 1 is probably my second favorite main Yokai Watch game. I like it more than 2, personally.
I also think that it's really underrated. I think a lot of people write it off for being the first one and probably not the one that they were introduced with. But I do think there is something to that simplicity. It's a shame that there's no trading in the game. That's like my biggest complaint with it. But other than that, it has a really cute kind of Saturday morning anime type story to it, and lots of cute creatures to collect.
Yeah, that, and also I just feel that in comparison to every other Yokai Watch game, it feels so like by itself. If that makes any sense. Like when it comes to Yokai Watch 2, there's no. Yeah. Like, when it comes to stuff like Yokai Watch 2, there's that, a lot of things from that, they carry on to Yokai Watch 3, and things from 3, you know, that, like, somewhat carries on to 4, and so on and so on. Like, it feels like they're, like, all just kind of, like, that, like, if anything, I'd say Yokai Watch 2 is where things started to become connected as a whole, and more, like, but I feel in the sense that, since Yokai Watch 1 is so, like, by itself, that it makes it stand out, it makes it feel unique. And that's what I like about it. It's not something you be like, oh yeah, I've already played this before. Because it's such a different experience from 2 and 3 that I feel it's worth playing alone just for that.
I do have a comment about the original Yokai Watch. You know the Uptown Springdale theme? Like, it has that one song and then it was never used again in the sequels. I think that the original Uptown theme is really nostalgic, and I like the first Yokai Watch game for that, and I think they should have included it in the other ones.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
What about you, Galaxy? What do you think about the original Yokai Watch?
I think the first one is like, if I were to play the first one again, then I will get some nostalgics, a lot of nostalgics hang on me when
You have a
I'm
lot
new
of
to this
memories attached to it,
series.
right?
Yeah, I have like
That-
a lot of memories of playing the first Yokai Watch game.
yeah.
I have a
Even
lot of
now, I
memories
still
Actually-
of
feel.
grinding the Crank-a-kai coins in the fucking camera game.
Speaking of memories, do you mind if I tell you a story?
Go
Yeah,
for it.
for it.
So the reason I got into Yokai Watch was because a few years ago I snuck my 3DS into my room past my bedtime, and I was looking through my games, and I was like, "Hey, I have Yokai Watch. I haven't played this, so I guess why not give it a shot?" So I played it, well knowing that I shouldn't be awake, and I was like, "Holy shit, I like this game!" So I played it for like 1 a.m. every night until my mum
Oh my
found out.
Oh my
Nice.
god, I'm so sorry. Did
Then
she
I got
stop you from playing it?
Yeah, she found out and took out my 3DS.
Oh, I'm so
But-
sorry.
I was allowed to play with it during the day, but just not at nighttime.
Yeah.
Oh, that still sucks though.
Yeah, well, I have school at that time, but I'm graduated now, so who the
Now
fuck
you can
cares
play
if I stay
Yokai
up?
Watch till 2 a.m. all you want.
Yep.
Real yokai hours.
Yeah.
But
I did notice when I was playing the game on stream, the Switch version, that I don't know. There is a sort of like charm that the first game has
Yeah.
because it's like, even though Yokai Watch was pretty transparently always supposed to be a big hit franchise, that was like the goal. It have kind of like a very self-contained feel to it. It has a very clear beginning and end, and Yokai Watch 2 kind of starts up a little awkwardly, in my opinion, because of that.
I was never a fan of how they just tried to erase all the things that happened from Yokai Watch 1 when 2 started. That's probably my biggest issue. Like, because they were like, okay, so we're continuing this, but how do we want to move on in a way that seems natural? And like that we don't have to worry about a lot of the things we like started off with 1. Also, is it just me, but walking around the same places in Yokai Watch 2 that are in Yokai Watch 1 just it doesn't feel the same.
I don't know. I don't know
okay.
about that. I
I
think they
mean,
are the
like,
same
I don't know
areas
why.
copy pasted.
No. I mean, like, I just don't get the same like nostalgic, comfy vibe.
It's those fucking donut shops crowding up the place. Yeah, I agree. No, I see what you mean.
Maybe this is just because I started out with Yokai Watch 2 as my first Yokai Watch game, but like I was the one who got that sort of nostalgic, cozy vibe. But then again, that might be just being like a kind of like bias.
Well, you did start out with 2, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so you wouldn't like have the same kind of, I guess, emotional attachment to people who played Yokai Watch 1 first. And there's nothing wrong with starting with 2. In
Yeah.
fact, I would be honest, I would, as much as I honestly do prefer 1 to 2, I would like put most people to start with 2 just because that's a more like reasonable starting point for the series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2 is a very
yeah,
good starting point.
Yeah, I played 1 after 2, and it was a very awkward transition, and I haven't gotten back to 1 yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, because by the time 2 comes out, it's definitely like a proven concept. So it does feel a little different. Like it does feel like it knows what it wants to be.
Yeah.
Much more than Yokai Watch 1 ever did, really.
Yeah, it builds off the foundation of the first game.
Yeah, gameplay wise, but sort of franchise wise, it's almost like a new beginning. Like this
yeah,
is the
It definitely has a very different vibe to the first game.
for sure.
Yeah, it has a more in-depth story with more elements to it, and yeah, it's more polished, I think.
And also stuff like trading and battling and all that kind of stuff that you'd kind of expect from a game like Yokai Watch.
I quite like the time travel mechanic, honestly.
I do too.
I think it's cool to see what the setting looked like back in the old days, and you can actually interact with it and do everything
Yeah.
you can in the current world.
Though this could just be me, but I feel it takes way too long to get to like the time travel stuff.
What is it, like chapter 5 or 6, I think?
Something
I should have done
like
some
that.
research before doing this, but yeah, it does take a while.
it feels very long, and like here's the thing. The main gimmick about Yokai Watch 2 was the time travel, going back to the past, seeing these areas you've been to before with like this new coat of paint that you wouldn't see, like, because you're in the future, or the present at least. So, but the fact that it takes so long, and if I'm going to be honest, a lot of the game just feels like an extended version of Yokai Watch 1. And I don't mean in the sense that it's a sequel to Yokai Watch 1. It feels if Yokai Watch 1 got story DLC.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
It has its
Maybe.
pros and cons, I think.
Yeah.
Like
I love me some more Yokai Watch 1, but at the same time, if I buy a new game and what I'm playing feels identical to something I played about a year ago,
Yeah, it's gonna age terribly, especially if like the gameplay could have really been improved on.
If I had to guess, I'd feel like that because Yokai Watch 2 was released in the height of like the popularity, like that was what did it. I feel like it's kind of stuck in two worlds almost, where this one needs to introduce so many more new people to the franchise, but also it has its own unique element from, to make it separate from Yokai Watch 1, and those definitely do clash, because if you're going through the story, you get about halfway through and it feels like kind of a different game. If I recall, like a lot of like the early chapters are all in the present, and they're all doing stuff that you would do in Yokai Watch 1, doing chores and errands for people, with a slightly overarching story in those chapters, but one that's not too present, if that makes sense. Basically what you said, KJ, that it's very reminiscent of Yokai Watch 1 for a good portion of it.
Yeah. And really, whether that's a good or bad thing, that's really up to you to decide. But personally, I think that if it takes me, like, a good chunk of the game to get to the new stuff, then that's a bit of an issue. That doesn't really detract from the overall quality of the game itself. Because here's the thing. It's still Yokai Watch. It's good. It's fun. It's great. It's just that it's nothing I haven't done before up to that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So Yokai Watch 3.
I think
do you want to tackle that yet?
I think we kind of did Yokai Watch 1 a little dirty, because we talk about it for like 3 minutes and then move on to 2, which I think is.
I mean, what is there much to talk about?
Yeah, here's the thing. As much as I want to, I like Yokai Watch 1, there's not much to talk about considering the fact they really want to insist that game didn't happen, and that it's,
Yokai Watch 3 calls back to it.
Yeah, because, hey, McCracken still exists.
Yeah, and they know who he is. So it's not, erased from canon. It's just in a weird spot where not many...
It's like Yokai Watch 1 doesn't exist at all.
Yeah.
Cowards.
And then they, in a really weird move, remade it for the Switch. Remade in quotations. It is very much a port, and I would say not a remaster.
Yeah,
it's
all
the same. Yeah, it's like the exact same files from the game. It's just optimized for the Switch, and the artwork is upscaled.
Yeah, here's the thing. The models themselves and everything were ready to be used for a console game, but they just, they compressed it for a 3DS. So it didn't take that much effort for them to, just make it look good. Which it does look good. The game looks beautiful. I'm just gonna say that. It looks beautiful. It is so pretty.
Sure wish they could have gave it the, gameplay updates from the second game.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of the beautiful graphics, if Yokai Watch 3 was ported, I think that would be really cool, because I use Citra to upscale the...
dead gorgeous.
Yeah, I use Citra to upscale the Yokai Watch 3 graphics, and it looks so cool in Citra with 4K.
Even that's with illegal?
I dubbed my actual copy of the game, so therefore it is not.
Yeah, sure. That's what they all say.
Who else has said that?
I don't know. People who download games on the internet? I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you better be kidding, punk.
Look, I own a hard copy of the game. I'm allowed to dick around on it with an emulator.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. honestly, even if you didn't dump the copy yourself. But unless someone is watching, no, it's very evil. Lots of people are hurt when you download video games and movies on the internet. It's very bad. Anyway.
Yeah. But I do want to mention one thing. Yokai Watch 1's ending.
I love that. I love it. It's so cute.
Can I want to say something though. Personally, I feel for game 1, instead of Nate or Katie, they should have 2 completely unrelated to protagonists, just so they could fully go through with that ending where the character doesn't get to see Yokai anymore, just to make it more emotionally hitting, you know what I mean? Because it's like, it is sweet that you get to see him still after that happens, but it doesn't really make any sense because they kind of already say, oh yeah, you won't be that, sorry, we're gone. So
yeah,
I feel like it would have been a nice
cop-out ending.
It would have been a
they
nice
have to do
bittersweet
that so
ending.
you can continue to the post game anyway. So I
Yeah.
don't know any real solution for that.
Thing is, okay, here's the thing. It's a video game. It doesn't matter if just say that there could just be a thing where somehow the post game stuff technically takes place before the actual end of the game or something like that, to where that you're still able to have your yokai without it being weird. I've never really been on board with the whole thing where it's like, oh, okay, so if they I guess some the yokai are gone, then they can't be used for anything post game related. Which, I mean, yeah, but at the same time,
Like Ruby said, I don't really think there was much they could have done if they wanted that kind of ending, because it would be really weird to have that ending and then be like, oh, this all takes place, everything you do now takes place technically before that ending, but your yokai still level up and are not the same level that they fought the final boss with. It would just get really weird.
Yeah, there's no actual solution to that problem.
Other than to just change the ending, but personally, I kind of like the ending. I'd rather it not be changed.
Me too.
What do you guys think about Katie being not canon, really?
I think it's fine, I guess.
It's interesting because the Katie from Yokai Watch 3 is the one from Yokai Watch 1 and 2 if you play as her in those games, considering it's technically an alternate universe.
Honestly, I'm bitter about it.
I think her being introduced in Yokai Watch 4 as a canon watch user was perfect. I don't really think she needed to be canon in games 1 to 3.
I mean,
but that's just me.
Technically, I would say those playthrough, if you play through the games with Katie, that would be considered canon, because those events do happen in the greater, I guess, Yokai Watch timeline. It's just I don't know. Yeah, it's just an alternate universe.
It's canon to its own universe, but it's not canon to the one we know of.
The main one, the Nate one. But yeah, I mean, what else are they really gonna do? I mean, you can't. But the way they did it in 1 and 2, they both couldn't be canon.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But in terms of the anime, I wish that Kitty had a bigger role than just being the girl that Nate likes.
Yeah.
Yokai Watch exclamation point really should have done that. They made it look like Katie was going to be a big important role or something like that.
And then she wasn't.
I think it would have been so cool if Yokai Watch exclamation point was basically the bits of Yokai Watch 4 where you play as Nate and Katie. I think that would have been a perfect, people would still be a bit bitter that, oh, it's OG again, but at least it would give it something of purpose, something for people to care about. And it would do some pretty cool things too. Make Katie a canon watch user, have her and Nate connect more, and grow their relationship, because I still don't buy that they get married in Yokai Watch 4. That's bullshit. But just so many things they could have done. But no, they didn't feel like it, I guess. They got bored.
Well, it is meant to be filler, so I guess they didn't really care about what it was. If it was just something that was Yokai Watch, that would be enough.
Thing is, the filler excuse doesn't entirely work, considering it is technically canon, and it connects to the next series.
I would say more so like conceived as something to just take up time until they get to the next like. It was something to keep Yokai Watch like on the air, I guess. Not really filler.
I can get that. Here's the thing. I get that they only did it just because they wanted to keep their time slot on the air, but they could have done something at least somewhat interesting with it.
Like
I
something
agree.
with substance.
I agree. It's definitely not an excuse, but I mean, I would say like that's the main reason they didn't do anything with it is mostly because they didn't really. I mean, it's weird because I would say like they didn't really need to, but I do think they at that point they really needed to do something new because I don't know. That's around the time when everything started getting pretty stale.
Yeah.
Yokai Watch 3 opinions. Other than
Bad
it's
game.
the best
Awful,
game in the entire
terrible,
world.
worst game.
It's the best game on the 3DS.
Busters 2 is better than it.
Busters 2? Are you kidding
I'm
me?
just kidding. I love Yokai Watch 3. It is
Honestly,
still
I
one of... Go on.
I think the contrast between the Japanese and Western view on Inaho or Haley is interesting. Because in Japan, they thought she was the most annoying character ever, so they hated her. But in Western cultures, everyone loves her. I
You know,
think
that says a lot that a character that is generally conceived to be annoying over in Japan is well liked in America.
It's kind of sad because like I like Haley.
She's funny. I like her.
Yeah, I also like
She
Haley.
needs to be less of a dick to a Sapion, but she's funny.
As I would say, most
Yeah.
people
Definitely.
outside of Japan are at least okay with her. Like I remember bringing this up a while ago.
Yeah, I'll be
people I was
I'll be
talking
honest,
to
I've
had
noticed
no idea that.
I've noticed like a slow decline in Haley's popularity. Like I remember people always saying, "Oh, she's beloved in like the West," but I've kind of seen that people are either okay with her or just don't care anymore.
I love her though.
I like her too.
Funny.
Yeah, I also like her too.
That's also just because like it's been a while since there's been any content with her, and I mean it's kind of natural for things to fizzle out, but that's kind of better like to have like people who are either just okay or just don't care anymore compared to her being one of the most hated parts of the franchise in Japan.
Yeah.
It's just I do think it is interesting because I guess segueing from that. Whereas I wonder if it was kind of viewed like, when series introduce new characters, especially new main characters, people get really pissed off. Like, that's kind of the jumping the shark moment. But speaking about the actual game now, it's the biggest and bestest, most powerful game on the 3DS. No game even
How did they
compares.
fit that much shit into 3 gigabytes?
I know, it's fucking insane. Like, 90% of the areas from Yokai Watch 1 and 2 were there. You got a whole bunch of new areas, the most they've ever introduced.
And an entire fucking Busters game that could be a separate standalone game, but nope, it's Yokai Watch 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of content in that game, but I can't recommend it to newcomers.
No, it is intimidating.
Yeah,
like,
I would definitely
it's a
recommend
big
2
game,
first.
It controls differently.
Shit's scary, okay?
Yeah, it's a big beast of a game.
Yeah, it's just
Punkin'
too overwhelming
Goliath.
for new people, I think.
Yeah, and if I can go like a little bit off track, I think Yokai Watch 2 is like the perfect compromise between
Yeah.
which of the 3DS games should I start out with?
I completely agree.
I feel like that's a very like agreed upon notion that like Yokai Watch 1 is something that honestly I feel it should be played separate from 2 just because it's such a different experience, and even if it is the first game, I wouldn't say it's actually the best start of the series.
Yeah.
Because 2 that's what 2 significantly has over 1. It's honestly more of a proper sequel. Well, I mean a proper
definitely.
like starting game, not sequel. Well, it is a proper sequel, but yeah, that's not what I meant.
It's a proper sequel and a proper starting game.
With Yokai Watch 3,
I really... Oh, go on.
I was just gonna add real quick to like kind of recommending it to someone as their first Yokai Watch experience, and with a game like that, it's kind of like, would you agree with me in saying you haven't really played Yokai Watch 3 until you've gotten about 100 hours in?
Yes.
So
I would
yeah,
agree.
but it's like a lot. I just wanted to add that before we moved on because
Yokai Watch 3 is one of those games you casually go to 100 hours. That's like a base playthrough.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it sounds like a big number, and I mean, yeah, it is, but like it's
I have
you'd be
over 300
surprised.
hours and it's still not 100% done.
Just doing the quest and the story, I have more time on 3 logged than I had on both 1 and 2 combined, if I recall. Because 1 only
There's
took me
just so
60
much to
hours,
do.
and 2 took me 100, and I'm at 160 hours now, and I haven't finished all the quests yet.
I have a lot of time sunk into 3, mostly because, like, I made use of blasters just to level a lot. And even then, like, most of my time in the game was just spent on blasters T.
Yeah, I think that's probably most people. Which, unfortunately, it does get repetitive pretty quickly. Blasters
I
T,
spent
it's...
my time trying to 100% the medallion.
God, I'm trying to 100% it too, but I haven't gotten back to the game in a while. The one monster collecting game where I might actually complete the Pokédex for it.
Pokédex,
There's
you
no
say the
Pokédex.
forbidden words?
Only half of the forbidden word.
Who said Pokemon? Oh shit.
You're banned from your...
He said it!
Yeah, Blasters T kind of sucks, but whatever.
No.
It does, but it's
I didn't think it sucked. But then again, different strokes for different folks.
It's here's the thing. I don't like it simply because I love the original style of like Buster's so much, and
Exactly.
Buster's team like just shits on it completely, and I'm just like, are you why? Stop it.
I don't actually like think it's bad, but I do think
It's fun.
it has
It's fun to play with friends.
I do think it gets repetitive so much faster than normal blasters. Just because
Understandable.
the maps are like, they're not what they once were, and I guess actually expect them to make it where you could like go through all the maps in 3 and do missions on there. And it is more about treasure hunting, so it does have to be in those sort of dungeon places. It just makes it visually and gameplay wise very, very repetitive. On the other side of that, it gives you a lot of cool shit to use in the main game, so it is definitely worth doing.
I think I just have a bigger tolerance for Blasters T just because I keep saying Blasters and not Blasters T. Whatever, same
It's
thing.
fine.
But yeah, like
It's the same thing.
I just seem to have a bigger tolerance for Blasters T just because like I really like dungeon crawling games like Torchlight and Diablo.
And because I use cheats.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, that is one way to do it. You can just cheat to take away all the tedium and...
Yay, thanks, NTR.
Yeah, which is very
point,
easy to
just,
do
like-
in Yo-Kai Watch.
Just give yourself like as many apples and treasures as you want.
I used the cheat so that I couldn't die. I had infinite HP, and every time I killed a yokai, it would give me a chance to be friend and shit like that.
What the fuck?
Oh,
That's a little more than just scanning QR codes.
Give yourself a billion
I used the actual cheat
Eldoragos.
plugin on my hacked 3DS. Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, I guess it would probably be more fun that way. Well, maybe not, I guess. I don't know.
It depends on the person.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone else does.
Should we talk about regular blasters? Should we like cover that?
Well, I guess
I'd
it is
say
part of the series.
they are part of the OG series after all.
And since I think
If I may.
in the future, we will like revisit each game for like a deeper dive. I don't think it really matters if we go into ones like Busters and stuff just before we leave the 3DS era, because those are kind of a big part of it.
Yeah.
Blasters is really, really good. I've been addicted to it lately.
I fucking love. If you know me, you would know that my favorite Yo-Kai Watch game of all time is Busters. Like, it is my favorite. It's not just one of my favorite Yokai. It's not my favorite Yo-Kai Watch game. It's just one of my favorite games in general. I love it to death.
I think I definitely do like 3 better, but Blasters is is way up there, like almost tied with it, which is really, I guess, cool considering that it is made up of like 90% reused content.
Yeah, and it comes out like right. It's like after 2, but before 3, and also it introduced both Enma and Usapion, which people don't give it enough credit for. People always
Also
give that
Zazel.
credit. Yeah, Of course, how could I forget Mr. Dilf?
Mr.
I
Bill.
mean, he is.
Mr. Vampire Man, and then
Count Chocula.
yeah, Count Chocula. That the translation for blasters specifically is really really weird and kind of, I guess, broken in some places. Well, I mean, the parts like Zazzle just randomly changing his voice. Those are really
the voice
funny.
actor just that is like, here's the thing, it's so bad that it's like funny.
Yeah, exactly. But then in the missions, like your guide who's helping you in the missions, like whenever they talk, all of that seems really broken and not very well translated.
Yeah,
especially in Moon
I'll
Rabbit
be honest,
Crew.
I remember like when it first got announced for the West, just the overall like the unbelievable excitement I felt, just because something new Yokai Watch in the West after so long, and like I was just so excited just to see and hear all these characters again in English. Like, even if it was basically broken English, I was still so excited.
Most of the voice stuff, I think, was fine. Just like a lot of the text was really
Yeah, that's what I mean
done.
in the broken English department.
Yeah. It's the text that...
But I feel it's charming for that. Charming in a bad way, yes, but a funny way.
I mean, obviously, a lot of games that are translated from another language have this problem. It's not anything exclusive to it.
Yeah, especially if it's like a B grade team doing a translation.
Yeah. It was just funny.
People working on the translation.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, was it the same as 3, where it only had like a handful of people working on the translation of it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Definitely a different translation team from the first 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2 were
given
like
what they had to work with, they did a good job.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say it's at the very least standard. Like, it's definitely doesn't get into awful, like, weird territories like the anime does.
Things where you could say it gets like bad, I think it's too funny to really be anything like, oh, this is awful. It's just like, oh, this is so bad, I love it.
The only time it really got bad for me was, God, Shogun Waitington.
I remember, like, and this happened so many times when I was playing through it. I just played through it recently, so it's pretty fresh in my mind, where, like, it felt like, I guess, like, there was one mission where you were, like, the legendary Blasters team, you know, Sergeant Burley, Blizzy, Happy Air, Signaton, and they were all talking to each other in the mission, and it felt like there were some sentences missing. It didn't flow well at all, and I think most of the game, in terms of like the dialogue, the text, not anything spoken, but just the text is like that. I don't know. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time, I guess, hating on it, because it is a really fucking good game. It's maybe a little too grindy, but it is still really fucking good. I mean, blasters and grindy go hand in hand. At the very least, it has really fun and, I guess, varied gameplay. Like, you got like a million playable characters. You got so many awesome maps, because, you know, they weren't built for this game. They were built for the first 2, but reused. Like, that gives the game a lot to work with.
Yeah.
And it also is just really beautiful at some points, like the moon stage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, I love the moon stage.
I also just really love just the abundance of cutscenes. There's so many.
Yeah.
Just small little things to introduce a new boss or something, or even for its variants. I really like that. I love cutscenes in games, like just doing simple things like introducing characters. Like, it just goes the extra a mile to get you immersed in the world, and I think it does wonders. I love the Like the one where it has the Muncher eating one of the Onis, and the other runs away in fear.
I like the one where that introduces Komasan the best. I know it's a pretty basic opinion, but it was so
It's
adorable.
so cute. It's so cute.
Yeah,
Come out now.
come out now. Kuma-san in general is just the most cutest yokai.
God,
He's
I love
adorable.
Komasan so much.
People who hate Komasan, I don't
Komasan
trust
is
them.
adorable.
Does anyone hate Komasan?
I've seen
Not that I
too
know
many.
of.
Why would
I've seen
anyone
too many
hate
people.
Komasan?
I've never met anyone who hates
I
Komasan.
feel like people who hate Komasan are just people who hate him just because, like, oh, everyone loves him. I'm gonna hate him. I'm so
Yeah.
quirky.
They have no soul.
He's also pretty consistently the most popular character in the series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For good reason. It's fucking adorable, and Jibanyan's is kind of an asshole in most of the
Yeah,
things he's
he's just
portrayed in.
Yeah. Until, but
Which I
we'll
will
save that for another time.
I will give Yo-Kai Watch this, even though it was conceived as a big franchise. I think it was a pretty ballsy move to make the mascot a lazy, horrible little gremlin thing in a nice mascot-friendly cat body. Because his personality is fucking rotten.
He's a cat with the personality of a cat.
Exactly.
He's a cat and he likes it like that.
He's a cat and he likes it like
I am
that.
a cat and I like to like that. I wash my butt in the laundromat.
I'm a cat. I like it like that. Not gonna finish that.
I wonder. I've never seen the Japanese anime, but I wonder what does anyone know what was there before that? Before the cat song, was it just like another version of it, or?
I don't know, I didn't watch the Japanese version of the dubbed episodes.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious about a lot of stuff like that. I should really track down some of the earlier episodes subbed.
I think he was like, I am swag, and I like it like
no,
that.
I don't think so. I think it's probably not.
Yeah, sure.
I guess while we're talking about Blasters, there's Blasters 2, but I haven't played that. I know you have, KJ. So do you want to give
played
your?
Blasters too, but I skipped all the cutscenes
Why?
because I just wanted to play the actual game. I didn't really care about the story. Actually, I only cared about getting Kyra. That was it.
I liked it. It's a game. You can play it.
Everybody says it's the worst because it's full of fucking bugs and everything, but I played it and I never had any issues with bugs.
I'll be honest, some of the worst things that happened is just Yokai T-posing up to me, and it just made me laugh more than anything.
Yeah, I think they make out the bugs to be a lot more severe than they actually are, because
Though,
the really bad ones that I've seen, like the invisible car, they're just extremely rare.
but there was like a glitch apparently that it could randomly generate an unescapable room.
I never had.
I heard about that
my
in Yo-Kai
God,
Watch 3
incredible.
and Blasters T. I heard about that happening rarely.
Yeah, it's never happened to me.
Yeah.
Me neither.
KJ, wasn't there something relating to Blasters or to Busters 2 that maybe you stole? Maybe you stole something from someone?
No.
Okay.
I'm an angel. Never.
Yeah, never mind.
Shh.
Sorry, I just
Quiet.
really love that story.
Yeah.
If you want to tell
nobody's getting.
If you want to tell it, I can cut it. I can cut it out.
All right. I feel like I'll just be judged for being an asshole if I say anything.
Tell us.
To be fair.
Okay. So you know how there's codes you can get in Puni for Puni Fuyu and like Puni Jiro, right?
Yeah.
That you can use on Busters too.
Yeah.
So you guys know ROBBETT Watch, right?
Yes, I do.
So he did a video of how to get the code, and there is a split frame where he forgot to censor the code.
Oh my!
Me being the good civilian I was, I did nothing about it.
Oh
no!
You can keep that in, by the way, if you want, Alex.
Okay.
Oh no.
Fucking thief.
It's not a crime if you don't get caught.
This episode's title, in all caps, KJ steals from ROBBETT Watch? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark.
Robbit, if you're watching this, even though you probably don't have Yokai Watch Busters 2, I'm so sorry, man. I don't know what came over me.
Devious.
Oh my god, I have known he would discover this.
That was just the most. I don't know why I did it.
I mean,
Because you could.
Okay, to be fair,
Did
like
he
I
ever
said,
find out?
no, he blurred it out for like there was a split frame where it wasn't blurred, and he just forgot, and he never fixed it. So I just took the code.
No.
you're keeping it warm for him till he wants it back.
You can only use that code
Oh,
once, right?
Yeah.
If we get him on the Yo-Kast, it's gonna be an awkward story.
Yes,
Oh god,
yes,
no. Oh.
yes,
It's gonna be
Ruby.
an awkward story if he hears this.
Hey, Robin. Well, funny story.
Oh.
Ice Daisy grabs me by the throat and chokes me to death.
Yes, Ruby, it is a one-use code.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, KJ, but that story's just so fucking funny.
When did I first tell you? I told you
You
like
told me a while
in
ago.
a private. I told you like in a private call, right?
Yeah. I don't think it was on a stream.
I don't know what came over me that day. I was a devious little gremlin.
Just anger and greed.
But yeah, there's a story about how I'm a little thief fuck.
Like, that's the only thing I associate with Blasters 2, is just that story, because I haven't played it. I have it, but I haven't played it. So that is, like, the one thing that I have latched onto regarding it.
Just my story of being a little fucking...
Yes. It's one of my favorite stories. It's a tale of highs and
Absolutely
lows.
incredible.
Has a beginning, middle, and satisfying conclusion.
when I love the escalation when like everyone in the call slowly realized where I was going with the story. Because there was just the moment you could tell everybody realized what I was about to say.
Yokai Watch 4.
God.
Does that technically
That's
count
a
as
video
OG?
game. It came out.
Does it count as OG? Are we allowed to talk about it?
Well,
Considering
I
it was going to
don't
be a
know.
Shadow Side game, I don't really think so.
Alright, let's only talk about the parts regarding OG. Okay, so there's Uptown Springdale.
And
there's Blossom
and that's
Heights and
Katie gets
Yeah.
to watch. That's pretty cool.
Nate. He's taller.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's still the same summer all the way through 1 through 4. It's the same
Yeah.
long ass summer.
There's 104 days of summer vacation.
In school comes around, and yokai come around just to end it.
More like extend it.
Yeah.
And yokai come around to extend it.
Yokai Watch truly is the Phineas and Ferb of video games.
Yep.
Speaking of, I think everyone knows this, but the Swampy Marsh theme song was made by one
It's
of the
awesome.
co-creators of Phineas and Ferb.
God, I was wondering why that name was familiar. I honestly, I recognized Swampy Marsh from Camp Lazlo, I think.
Did Swampy Marsh work on Camp Lazlo?
I think so. I can't remember.
It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. I mean, I know kind of like the history behind like Phineas and Ferb and all that, but I don't think it's something that needs to be gone into in the Yo-Kast.
Welcome to the Phineas and Ferb cast.
Oh
where we
God!
talk all things Phineas and Ferb. You think that exists? The Phineas and Ferb podcast.
Almost definitely when it was running.
We should start that.
No.
I don't even
Oh.
watch Phineas and Ferb.
The only way
Well-
that show is relevant to me is I watched a YouTube video talking about how it was created, and the co-creator made the Swampy Marsh theme song. Other than that, that show is not relevant to me whatsoever. You can start a Phineas and Ferb cast though, KJ.
Yeah, I could get all my Phineas and Ferb mutuals on it. And get my
Phineas
special
and Ferb
guest.
LGBT headcanons. An in-depth discussion.
Why Bulgy is
I would-
canonically gay.
I would watch that.
Would you,
Yokai
Alex?
Well, yeah, I would watch. Yeah, I would totally
Phineas
watch a
and
whole.
Ferb Neon. Phineas Neon and Ferb Coma.
I would totally watch a full podcast of LGBT headcanons for Phineas and Ferb. That sounds interesting.
It is a very... God, what... Yokai Watch, it's really cool.
Okay, just to get off track for a bit, I thought you said Phoenix and Ferb for a moment.
Phoenix and
right.
Ferb, the sequel.
Phoenix and Ferb.
The sun god Phoenix and Ferb.
Okay, anyhow.
But oh yeah, Blusters 2. It's a good game. It's fun. I liked it. I had fun with it. Don't know how to get to the post game, and that really annoys me. And also, the drop rates are absolute dog shit. But yeah, it's alright. It's pretty cool. And also, I got a free Pooticoma out of it.
I really like one of the other things, I guess, that I can relate to. I really like the sword version, the opening of it. Like, it was opening 10 of the anime.
And also the ending theme. Bum bum ba-da-ya ba-ya.
Bum 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 ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ya. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-yo, yeah!
The Magnum version definitely got outdone completely. Like, I usually go with the Jabanyan versions, but that song might make me turn traitor. I also appreciate how they have a sword version and a gun version, basically, of Yokai Watch Busters 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice.
On sword, shield, and gun.
Except Yokai Watch actually did hit. Fucking sword and Magnum version.
Sword and Glock.
So I guess there's also the anime, if we wanted to cover that. I don't know how much experience everyone here has with the anime, but...
I watched all of the anime, but remember nothing.
Very little of it.
I watched most of the animes, I think. I don't know, it's been a while.
The OG and even exclamation point animes are... I don't know, it makes sense not to remember a lot of it, because they're very, like, I guess, monster or yokai of the week stories. They're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only one that, like, I can honestly remember everything that's happened is, well, you know, not gonna say its name because this is strictly OG, but,
Say its name!
No. Say my name.
But I don't know, the anime is enjoyable in its own right, but I was trying to, like, binge it, and I just can't. It's something I gotta just come back to, like, one episode at a time.
Yeah, like, it's like junk food.
That's hard. Yeah, here's the thing, it's junk food, not a lot of, like, substance, and it's not really a good show, but it's just something that, I'll be honest, I like it. I enjoy it. It has so many flaws, like, beyond many, but I don't know. I have a lot of good memories with it.
What's your guys' favorite segment from the anime?
The one where Manji Mutt goes to Alcatraz.
I honestly
Manji
liked
Mutt
the
goes to
4-panel
Brazil.
Koma-san from 2019. I think that's one of the only good things about that one.
Same, mostly because I can't remember liking anything else about the OG anime or exclamation mark, and I have a bias for Koma-san.
The segment where it's like Lazaria and Manji Mutt, like his doctors, it was pretty funny from what I remember, honestly. I also really liked the Koma-san in Love segment. That was cute.
I was just about to mention that one.
Oh yeah.
That one was so cute. He's like,
that one's so...
I gotta be cool so I can impress this girl so she loves me. I'm gonna drink coffee, even though I hate coffee. I just love
the
this
ending
girl.
got me
She's
a bit bitter, though.
Bitter? Funny.
Like coffee?
No, like my tears.
I liked another one I liked was the one where Koma-san started out as a janitor for the Bondi
and then he
toy
went
company.
up like the company.
Yeah, and then he just very quickly climbed the corporate ladder until he was CEO and was like still mopping the floors because he didn't understand that wasn't his job anymore. That one was really cute.
Koma-san had the best segments.
Yeah, Koma-san
Yeah.
he really did. And they were pretty consistent too, I think, about giving him one.
I
Yeah,
liked the
it's like
segment
after
where
one ended, another one started. I like
Yeah, there was the one where he shielded Barack Obama from an assassination attempt.
that.
Oh my god,
Oh yeah,
yes!
that
Yes! Yeah, that literally happened.
Or I guess technically it was Whisper who shielded him, but Koma-san helped.
Thank you, Koma-san.
do you
Truly
like
a
the
hero.
segment where he became a policeman?
President,
Yeah.
down!
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
it's that
Koma-san.
segment.
Thank you for saving me, Barack Obama. I now elect you as the new president of the, of Japan.
Japan doesn't have a president; they have a prime minister, I think.
I would have
No,
liked to
only
Obama.
Obama.
See a mini series where Koma-san joins Barack Obama as they try and get
On his
reelected
quest to
as he's
defeat the
no, and he still
elderly
could be like his
rich.
VP. As Obama's trying to get reelected.
Koma-san is
That
basically the
would be one
Barbie
hell
of
of a
Yokai Watch.
like. That would be
Yeah.
one hell. Like, yeah, like he really just embodies a lot about Yokai Watch. Just nonsensical fun.
He just
Koma-san
also has
just does whatever
meant
he
a million
wants.
fucking jobs. Which
I love
Yeah, I
how
say
a
he's-
common theme with Koma-san segments is that everything just comes good to him without
yeah,
him trying. Really, I like
I say
that.
he's the Barbie, like in terms of the doll, in terms of the Yokai Watch franchise, because Barbie has done basically every single job in the universe, and so has Koma-san.
yeah.
When's that crossover gonna happen?
Yeah, Barbie x Yokai Watch.
I would say Barbie appearing in Yokai Watch would be much more likely than Barack Obama. So I think once you include Barack Obama, all bets are off. Anything can be included.
Don't you know Obama's a huge Yokai Watch fan?
Yeah.
He's like, I love Yokai Watch 3. I think 4
You
is
guys
mediocre.
remember that ad campaign that they did for the localization?
Wait,
of Yokai
what?
Watch?
The what?
The advertisement campaign they did for the localization, and Reggie did the dance.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah,
I've
honest.
seen
I'm
that.
I'm dumb, and I
happened.
thought you meant like the localization of Obama.
Hey guys, it's me, Obama. I speak English now.
Hello, it's me, Obama. I feel like they should give Obama a Yokai Watch.
Yeah, it's
You
like
okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Don't worry about me. Alright, continue.
where do we go from Obama? What Yokai Watch do you think would fit Obama the best?
Probably like I think the Dream, the
Yeah,
Dream Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the
the best
Dreamwatch
one.
That is the most American flair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we just make a watch user out of Obama?
Sure.
Topical.
I mean, if Koma-san's gonna be his VP, he needs the watch to see and talk to him. So
And we already know that Koma-san is his partner yokai.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's just trying to like think of what to go off of after Obama watch.
Yeah, I think we've everyone's clearly been avoiding it the entire podcast, but I do think we need to bring up the most important part of OG, Usapion or Usapion for.
I like him.
He's
He's
the
okay.
best. He's the best
Ooh,
yokai.
Snappy-on.
I think he's cool.
really grown on me.
Yeah, he's the best one. He's clearly the most defining piece of OG Yokai Watch, if not the entire franchise as a whole.
Usapion Dani. I can't do
I'm
a
no
Usapion
fucking
voice, but I
yokai.
can say Dani.
The Japanese one or the English one?
I could probably do the English one. Howdy, I'm Usapion. That doesn't sound like him.
Ooh, Snappy-on.
I
like
guess
him.
I can
He's
do
funny.
a Koma-san voice.
Go for it.
Oh, my swirls.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Koma-san, and I came from the big old country, and I'm settling down here in the city, and my brother's going crazy.
Komajiro, what's a homosexual?
Okay.
The new Yokai Watch segment where Koma-san discovers gay people.
God.
I'm gonna make a Yo-Kast highlights video.
Gosh darn it, Komajiro, do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want to fix this gosh darn phone.
Yeah, it'd be like a part 2 to the segment where Koma-san was getting used to the city. It'd just be like a part 2 to it where he's learning some more of the, I guess, some more city culture. He's learning what JPEGs and gay
So,
people are.
Just King of the Hill, but with Koma-san.
Yes.
Yep.
King of the coma.
King of the Coma. Oh my god.
Actually, talking about Koma-san, I have Tomodachi Life, and I made a Koma from Y Academy, but basically, it could also be Koma-san, I guess. But I tried to give him the Monge catchphrase, but in Tomodachi Life, they say it as Monge.
It's Munch.
I tried to say Monge, but it says Monge.
Munch.
Munch.
I bet if I put Jibanyan's catchphrase as Nyan, it would say Nyan.
Nyan.
Diane.
Meow 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 meow. When are we gonna get that variant of Jibanyan?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that
Nice.
ship's long past sailed, man.
Nothing is long past sailed for Yokai Watch.
Or Nyan Cat.
Also, hold on, I'm gonna get some water bottles.
Alright.
Baba Booey.
Eusapion might be the best yokai, but his question 4 was really hard to do without knowing Japanese.
I mean, I guess. I know some Japanese, so it wasn't that hard for me.
I know nothing. So it was
What you
very
can
hard.
do is you download Google Translate on your phone, and the app has a camera option. So you take out the camera, and it translates anything that you put on your camera. Like, you just hold your camera up to the switch, and it'll translate that.
I tried doing that for Y Academy, but most of the time it just came out as like nonsensical. No!
What are you doing?
This. He said it, the Y word. I'm about to get.
Does Y Academy make you racist? Question mark? That is the
Um.
title for this podcast.
And it's still centered around OG. I'm excited when we get to that episode so I can unleash my wrath.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I am back. What I miss?
Nothing.
Okay.
KJ transformed
No.
into the werehog of Y Academy. And I guess the last piece of OG material we haven't talked about at all, I guess minus the phone games and the manga. What did you guys think about the card fight, Vanguard, whatever? I don't know that show, but there was that cameo of Nate and Jibanyan.
That's cool. I never seen that show, but I like it. There was also cameos in Inimazuma 11.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was in Go Galaxy.
Yeah, there's multiple times where Jibanyan just kind of shows up. He was also on a water barrel. His face was just on it for some reason.
He feels a
Jibanyan branded
mascot.
Oh yeah,
water.
he was also just in he was just in an episode for some reason. Like he was just there as a background character.
Does he have any speaking roles like he does in the?
No.
Oh.
No, he's just there. It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah, I was really surprised in the card fight cameo because I thought it was just going to be a background appearance, but Nate and Jibanyan just
and
got speaking lines.
this is probably really obscure, but there was a Jibanyan cameo in Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beast, and nobody actually noticed, even though it's like right in that frame.
What?
You
Wait,
heard of
what?
Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts? It's a really popular show on
No.
Netflix. And
I've never.
Jibanyan was in there as a timber cat.
What?
Oh wait, is it
Wait,
that one
what?
screenshot you sent a long time ago where he's like all fuzzy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never heard of it until that exact moment.
Yeah, I've never heard of it till now.
I
It's
heard
a
that
show
show,
about
but
furries. A girl, she lives in a post-apocalyptic world and she turns into a persona to protect her people. That's it. And her mum's a monkey. And there's an evil monkey as well. And there's an evil scientist who wants to eradicate everything.
So, the manga.
I like
I only
it.
have one volume.
I only have one.
I have 2 physical volumes, one of the OG series and one of and I also have
Is that burp? Or
No, it was just a growl because I refused to say it.
oh, okay.
The thing that starts with Y and ends in
It was her
Why?
impending transformation back into the
I have to stop
werehog.
myself from turning into the were KJ. But I also have the digital version of manga 2 of and I'm also going to be getting the digital version of manga 3 well for that.
You sound like a frog.
I have a physical version of a few of the volumes, but in the place where I keep up with them and like have the whole collection is digitally. The manga is really interesting in the way that it is such a nothing part of the franchise. Like the OG manga is just like in the background. It's not popular.
It just exists.
It just exists, but oddly enough, it became the last piece of Yokai Watch media to consistently be released in the West. So it's like the last thing. It's how we, have the localized version of the Elda and Arcs and like eventually some stuff from Yokai Watch 4. Especially to like the Western community, I think it's become a lot more important as of late.
I think it's only going on because Viz Media does it and not Level 5 and their license is still active.
And plus the person who does the manga, even they want to see like stuff like the Shadow Side manga come over, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, didn't they say that they wish that Shadow Side was localized?
Yeah.
Like a Japanese person who worked on it or something?
Yeah. Like the person who does the art for it, which I think is really cool, having somebody who also wants it to get like localized.
Yeah. I think didn't they post a picture of like the French volume 17 or something? And they say, hey, this has been localized. I hope other stuff gets localized as well.
And I especially hope like the movie volumes get translated like after, because they're gonna catch up pretty soon. So I'd really like it if like Shadow Side and then like the movie volumes.
Volume 18 is going to be released like mid next year, isn't it? And that's basically the end of the manga, I think.
Yeah, it's caught up. I think the manga still runs monthly, but
like in Korokoro, I think.
Yeah, but because it runs monthly, it takes forever to make a volume out of it.
Yeah, the final chapter of the Not Saying Its Name manga is going to be happening soon, which I'm pretty excited for because I just want to see where that goes.
It's the same artist who does all the manga, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Volume 18 comes out July 27th, 2021. And that's the last one that the wiki shows for the original manga.
Yeah, I think that is caught up. Once that happens, and maybe Volume 19 will come out, like, around, because they usually come out in the summer. As of late, it's been about 1 volume per year in Japan, so...
That means that it's been going on for 18 years.
No, it didn't always used to be that way. Like, I think it used to come out more consistently. I know it's a monthly manga. I feel like at some point, because there is like there's a weekly version of Kurokuro, isn't there? Like it's like a shittier weekly release.
I think
so. I don't know.
So I don't know if it ever came out in that, because I don't because I don't know why, the volumes have slowed down so much unless they just don't do a chapter every month anymore. And I have no clue because I don't live in Japan. I can't get that magazine very easily. And it's it would be a big effort to import a bunch of volumes and see how often Yokai Watch comes out in it.
Yeah. Just not really worth the investment.
Yeah. The manga is... I'd say, like, whenever
cool,
the Yokai Watch 3 stuff starts is when I would recommend people get into the manga. Because the first, like the Yokai Watch 1 and 2 era of the manga is so... It's just like the anime. It's so repetitive and boring. I'd say it's worse than the anime, to be honest. It's just not very good. They rely on, like, the same 3 running gags. Just a lot of weird, gross out humor. And there still is when they get to Yokai Watch 3, but at that point, there's like they start doing more of like not like a story, but more of like a consistent, like, yeah, I would say like a consistent ongoing story starts happening in, like, whenever the Yokai Watch 3 stuff happens. I think it's volume 8 or 9. Whichever one has Usapion on it is where that starts, obviously. Also, fun fact about the manga, it was the first Yokai Watch thing to come out ever.
Really?
Yeah, it came out in December of 2012, the first chapter.
Well then.
And the first volume came out about a month before the first game. So that's why, like, the, like, Whisper doesn't have the yokai pad, why some yokai look different in it, why the Yokai Watch looks different in it is because they're all using, like, earlier designs.
Oh, right. I remember you actually bringing that up. That's interesting.
And they actually, and instead of just switching over to newer designs and, like, newer things, like giving Whisper the yokai pad, they kind of keep it, they keep it consistent, which is really interesting. Like, in the manga, the OG watch just is the prototype one. They never update the design. There was one chapter, though, because in throughout, like, all of the Yokai Watch 1 and 2 era of the manga, they didn't really change, like Nate never got the Model Zero or anything like that. So there was one chapter just, like, hand waving all the shit from Yokai Watch 2, like the Model Zero. They basically just say it's useless because it's not backwards compatible with other metals, and then throw it away forever. That's the only time it shows up in the manga. I know a decent amount about the manga. I don't like the beginning of it very much. Especially, it's probably because instead of reading it monthly, I tried to read it, like, volume by volume.
Back to back?
Yeah, back to back, and it just got so repetitive, and I don't know, it's not very funny either. I mean, maybe it is to, like, a 6-year-old, which is probably what the manga was intending, but...
Wow, a kids manga being aimed at for kids?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Maybe...
I've said this before, but I don't think the excuse of it's for kids should excuse bad writing or bad jokes.
No,
Well,
I agree, but...
Like, kids aren't dumb. Despite everything, kids are not stupid. Like, give them substance. They'll figure it out.
On one hand, I agree, but on the other hand, there's some shit that, like, I roll my eyes at in the manga that I know I would have been fucking dying on the floor with laughter when I was younger, when I was, like, a child. So, I don't know. Like, yeah, theoretically, I agree with that, but at the same time, in like, there is shit like that, just shit I know I would have liked. Just, like, all the gross out humor, I probably would have found that a lot funnier when I was 12 and not 22.
I'm not sure if I would have the same thought, but then again, I grew up with Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy when I was a kid, and honestly, that's still one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, if you can handle that show, the Yokai Watch manga is not nearly as, like, gross out as that show.
Yeah, but, like, I did read some of the Yokai Watch manga, and, like, a lot of, like, the gross out humor I just found myself rolling my eyes at.
There's some of it that's really nasty to me. Like, I bring this one up a lot just because it really traumatized me, I guess. Where Dracunion is, like, sucking the blood from Nate's mom, and he just gets, like, eventually he just sucks too much blood and he starts puking up blood, and it's so fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
That's like
I don't know. I don't
unwittingly
think even Billy and Mandy
graphic.
had shit that went that far.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that show that well, but I do remember a lot of shit similar to that. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, there were a few in the manga that even as a 22-year-old, I looked at and was like, oh god, like I would not. That would have made me sick as a kid. That probably would have made me throw up.
So what you're saying is, I feel like a lot of the shit in the manga was be on par with Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, it's kind of like mindless, like gross out in humor, which is definitely has an audience. Just I am not that audience. I like the manga better when it starts like syncing up with like the series eventually. Yeah, that's just my opinion on it. I don't know. What does everyone else think about the manga?
I only read one volume, but I think it's okay.
What volume did you read?
I forgot. I think it was 12.
12 is like I think either like I think that's pretty close to the Busters 2 stuff, I think, if I recall.
Yeah, it was 12. I just double checked.
Yeah.
The only manga I have is Volume 7, and yeah, that's all I have.
Alright, yeah, as I guess as usual, no one really has a lot to say about the manga. It's
just average.
I like it.
Like Nate.
Oh, that joke would fit right in with the show.
Yeah,
but,
it's like clearly like a tie-in manga, but at the same time,
I do like a lot of the creative liberties it takes.
Yeah, I do too. I like how I said like they just decided to keep a lot of the earlier designs just for consistency. Like I thought that made it a lot more interesting in the early days just to see, early designs of shit.
Yeah.
I guess what were you thinking about, KJ? Like what's some of your favorite parts of it?
The manga, I'll be honest, I really like how the manga did the whole Usapion's like that was really cool. And I think the manga of the series that will not be named is just genuinely really good, though I do have some issues with it, like how I don't really like how Mr. Catboy is handled in it too well.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it was kind of like a big turnoff for me, just because like that's my favorite character, and I don't like the manga's portrayal of him, so I was just kind of like, all right, I'll deal with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, he has really cool moments, but like he's just kind of a dick. I don't like that, because that's not how his character's supposed to be. He's just really mean.
That's a shame.
But,
I really like him in the anime.
The art of the manga, it was something I wasn't a fan of at first, but it's really grown on me.
I like the art style enough. It's like not something I'm super passionate about it, but
it's like interesting. It's very lanky.
Yeah.
Character limbs are very like stylized, which at first I thought was kind of weird, but it's pretty cool.
I think it works best with the yokai. Like I really like how like Jibanyan and Usapion look.
I like how like Usapion looks, especially.
Speaking of Usapion, you mentioned it earlier, but I do think the manga version of that like story where him and Haley Ann build the rocket, I do think that is like the best version of that story.
Yeah.
Period. It was handled so much better. And even then, I think the game and anime did it okay too, but just the manga completely exceeded expectations. It was so much more emotional, like built up and like fully realized, I guess. And I like the most major changes that they had, instead of having Usapion like run away, to hear that Dr. Hewley had like been able to see him the whole time, and like that was like kind of a secret that was kept with Haley Ann for the game and anime, but for the manga he was like hiding behind like a tree or something, so he heard like everything about how Dr. Hewley wants him to like achieve his dreams and how he could see him the whole time and I was proud of him and all that. And that was really fucking good.
It was. It was just handled so well.
Yeah, which was really weird because, like I said, as I was like binging it, it was like I had almost nothing to like about it, but then all of a sudden it was just like, holy shit! Not only did they
it can get really emotional when it wants to, and it knows how to handle serious situations.
Yeah.
which is very like it knows when to stop the humor, and I really it's a very admirable trait knowing when like take things seriously.
Yeah, that's something I think like the greater franchise could definitely learn from is how to do those moments a little bit better. Because a lot of times they end up like I don't know what it's I don't know the right word to describe it, but just
Flaccid?
maybe just like throwing a joke in the middle of like something that's supposed to be kind of like sad and at least
like,
a little bit
heartfelt.
serious. Yeah.
Like, you can't pull sincerity and then, like, shove a bunch of jokes in between. It just kills your message.
Yeah, and I think the manga's the only part of the franchise that doesn't have that problem.
I'd argue there's a couple things in the games that have that.
Yeah, I don't know. There are a few moments from the games where it's like, sad moment. Anyways, lol, like funny Jabanyan or very cruel, mean-spirited joke or something. Which
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when it happens in the games, it's like kind of rare that they like pull a sincere thing like with complete sincerity.
Yeah, and
yeah.
don't like double
But it
down on it in some
happens.
way.
Yeah, it does happen. I think we've covered just about everything OG, at least touched on it a little bit. Because we did the games, we did the anime, we did the manga, even even some like random weird cameos and other things. Can anyone else think of anything?
Maybe the merch.
Oh, the merch. Yeah, there's actually a lot to talk about there.
Oh, the Jibanyan plushies.
I was more so thinking
So
about
many.
the watches and the medals.
I have the Model U.
Model U's cool.
I'm getting the watch from the series I still will not name pretty soon, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
cool.
nice.
I want to collect every watch model that there is, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm just sticking with the Model U because it has the medals I want. Though, because I just like, oh hey, first time I'm ever mentioning them. But yeah, just because I like them so much, I got the dream medals for the Wicked Elite.
I was looking at those the other day. Those medals are pretty cool.
Yeah. Like they look cool, but I can't use them.
Yeah, I honestly think the Dream is probably the best yokai watch that they ever released. Just because it's backwards compatible. It also works with the games with like the Dream Link shit. It just got so much.
Only the Japanese versions though.
Yeah.
And it's just got a really nice design. I like that. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It just is like if you were ever to spend $60, $70, $80 to $100 on a Japanese toy, that's probably one of the best ones to do just because it offers so much.
Yeah. I'm still sticking with the Model U though.
Yeah, the model. I mean, I don't have the Dream either. I just think it looks pretty cool. The ones I have is I have the Japanese OG watch. I have the Katie version. I have all the Hasbro watches, OG, Zero, and U.
I only have the first Hasbro watch.
I have the Katie's watch, I have a figure of Venoct, and I have the Omocat QB sweater. I like the Omocat Yokai watch line, actually. It's really cool.
I never got around to getting any of it, and I'm really sad I didn't because it's so cool.
Shit was too
Really.
expensive for me.
Yeah, it's very pricey, but I can get why.
Yeah.
I have a lot of the like localized or just like American merch.
Yeah, so
And-
do I.
It's the Nate figure
Same.
is just something special.
I have
I've seen
finals
it.
of Komasan and Jibanyan.
The Nate figure is actually like kind of rare. Like I have not seen it around because I usually keep tabs on like a lot of like Hasbro's old merch, and the Nate one does not come around much, and when it does, it's kind of expensive, especially since like all of the Hasbro merch is dirt cheap, just because there's too much of it and no one wants it. But some stuff I'm particularly proud of from my like Hasbro Western side of my merch collection is I think most of the trading cards at this point. There's still like a decent chunk I'm missing, but I have like Yeah, I'd say I'd have over half by now, and I'm slowly working on that to finish it.
Oh yeah, the trading card game existed.
Yeah, I do have also the Liberty Neon Comic-Con medal. Ended up with that because someone was selling them for really cheap. I think they're still on eBay if anyone wants them, either in this call or listening to this. It's just a cool thing to have. I have all of Series 1 of the Yo Motion medals because I just randomly found those at a half-priced books.
Nice.
Because I guess that counted as a book. Because it was just the medallion, like the blue one. And it had, I think, all but like 2 or 3 medals from Series 1 of Yo Motion, along with the Hover Neon medal people got for going to go watch the movie whenever that happened in the United States. Yeah, those are some of the things I'm most proud of, I guess. If no one else has anything to add to the merch side, I guess it's probably time to wrap this up.
Yeah, I think there's not much else to talk about.
Yeah, all I have is like on the side of March is like mostly plushies.
What's your favorite plush before we go?
Komasan.
Komasan.
I also got a Bushinyan from a friend, but his colors are all faded.
Aw.
Because he was in the sun.
Oh.
Yeah.
The faded Shogun.
Yeah. I still cherish him though.
That makes him more unique.
Yeah. And plus he was a gift.
Yeah.
If I had to choose my favorite, I really... Oddly enough, I'd probably have to go with the Wiglin.
Wiglin?
Yeah, I really like the Wiglin, like the Hasbro
Yeah,
Wiglin.
Wiglin is last.
Out of all
Excuse me,
yokai...
Ruby?
Nobody laughed at my joke.
I was drinking water and had to just double take on what you said.
I don't think I understood it.
She said
Wiglin
wiggling his ass.
Oh.
God, I saw a Wiglin plushie at a Savers store.
It's really weird that they make a plushie out of Wiglin of all yokai. Because I don't think there was very many, like, plushies that Hasbro made. There's only a handful, and out of them all, Wiglin is one of them.
Yeah.
But no Hover Neon plush. Of course not. But we can have Wiglin.
Love some Wiglin.
Yeah, what's some of
The
that?
only Hasbro plush I don't have is the Blazion.
Oh, I didn't know they made a Blazion.
Yeah, he's just that rare. I've seen him for like I've seen him in stores a few times, but I just never got him because I didn't really care. But now I'm kind of regretting not doing it. Oh, I also have those little Wibble Wobble plushes that you can connect to each other.
Yeah.
Those are really cool.
Those are the only plushes I have of the series in general. And I was able to find all of them in the display at a used game store. So I wanted the display pretty bad because it was like one of the ones that was, once upon a time in Walmart, Target, places like that. So I just took the whole thing up there and they let me buy the display along with it. So I was pretty happy with that. So I was able to get like all those completed, like every single one of them, and along with the display. And yeah, I guess if that's it, we can call it quits for now. Record episode 2.
Yeah, this was fun, though.
Some other point. Definitely not a year from now, though.
2 years from now.
Yeah, or we can really just be the yearly Yo-Kast Watch podcast. I guess a good way to end it would be talking about some of like the game plan. I do want to at least do one of these, like at least once a month, if not more. Though I think
sounds good.
Once a month would be probably a good trickle, especially since the series is kind of growing more and more like stagnant. There's like a finite pool of stuff to be talked about. So I think once a month would be a nice balance of like a semi-regular pace along with being able to take the content that we have and be able to stretch it out over a longer period of time, I guess.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, definitely not another year. This one will probably come out in December, and then the next one will probably come out in January, if I have things my way. Anyway, Yeah, that's the end. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Bye-bye.
Yo-Kast!
Adios.
Bye.
with us.